All right, LG has just officially launched the LG G7. Thank you. We have it here in two colors, blue and
Raspberry Rose.
Okay, so Lynn, tell us about this phone. Is this going to wipe out the iPhone 10? Is this going to take down the Galaxy S9 Plus? What can we expect?
Well, the important thing to remember is that the G7 is not part of LG's super premium line. That goes into its V series line. This is a G7. It's still a high-end phone, but it's not necessarily going to be competing with the iPhone 10 or the Galaxy Note series. It's actually more in line with the Galaxy S9 and the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus.
Right, but there's still some pretty robust features on here, right? So starting with the camera, for example.
Right, it actually has two 16-megapixel cameras on the back, and LG loaded it with AI smarts. So what that means is that the camera can recognize more than 1,000 images, and depending on where you are, like if you're taking a picture of a person, a pet, a plant, a sunset, that it will kind of automatically adjust the photo settings and optimize it so you can take a more perfect photo.
So that sounds a lot like what Huawei put into the P20 and the P20 Pro, except one thing I like about what this phone does is instead of just heavy-handedly applying those settings and you either accept them or you don't, this phone gives you the option to choose from 4 different settings, different color schemes and tones. So you really have a lot more choice over the process.
Right, and another new feature, and it goes with the front-facing camera and the rear cameras, is that it's easier to take portrait photos, and that's the kind of ones with the bokeh-like photos with a blurred background. It's really trendy right now, and on the G6 it wasn't so straightforward to take pictures like that. On the G7, you just tap a setting and then it will take those kind of photos, and you can adjust the blurriness too.
Now, tell us more about just the phone design. I'm holding it in my hand. It feels pretty good. It feels like I could use this one-handed. It's narrow, it's tall. What else have we got going on?
It's definitely solidly designed. On the back, you can see it's a little bit of a fingerprint magnet, but speaking of fingerprints, there's also the fingerprint reader. So that's still here, but this time around, it's not a power button like how it was in previous G phones. Now the power button's moved to the side.
Well, I am happy to see one thing here at the bottom. It is the
Headphone Jack. It's kind of disappearing. A lot of phones don't have it, but I'm glad to see that LG retained it. And what's also nice is that it's still waterproof. It's rated IP68, so you can still dunk it underwater and it will survive, and you don't have to go run out and get a new phone.
And this phone has wireless charging as well, which is something that you don't always see. It's starting to come out in more phones. The iPhones have them, as the Samsung phones have them, and LG has it too. So it's really closing that gap that used to exist in some of the features.
Yeah. Speaking of closing that gap with other phones, there's also a button here that launches Google Assistant, and it's very similar to what Samsung has actually.
Yeah, that's right. So Samsung has a Bixby button on the side, and LG put the button exactly in the same place underneath the volume rocker. And there is a difference, of course, because this isn't using proprietary software. LG worked with Google really hard on this. You don't have to say, okay, Google. The idea is that it's a faster way to launch search. There are also a bunch of unique commands that LG put into this that work specifically with the G7 phone.
Right, and one of those commands, for instance, is you could tell Assistant to take a photo with the wide angle lens on the G7. Another one is that if you double tap on the button, Google Lens will automatically launch, so you could maybe do an image search through the camera.
So I think it is a really interesting thing. This is something that LG wants to use to set apart this phone from the other ones in there. I wonder if it's going to start sort of like a side button revolution. One thing I don't like about the Google button on this phone and on the Samsung phones is that you can't reprogram them to open the app of your choice. So let's say that you wanted double tapping that button to do something else, anything else. You can't do that, you're locked in. However, LG did tell us that they might reconsider in the future.
That would be a good thing, because actually that was one of the more annoying things on the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 2 XL too. When you squeeze its sides, only Assistant launches and you can't program it to do anything else.
Right. Okay, so there is something else that's kind of controversial as a trend, and that is the notch. All right, so my phone has no notch and Lynn's phone has a notch. What does this mean?
So that means that LG is following that trend, like Android phones like the Huawei P20, the Essential phone, and the upcoming OnePlus 6 also announced that it has a notch. But unlike on the iPhone 10, it's optional. So you can actually have it with the notch, or you can have it blacked out on both sides, and it will have your regular alerts bar right here.
Yeah, so when we set this up, we were immediately given an option, notch or no notch. So there's really a lot of choice there, and I think that's good. So what do we know about pricing and availability?
Well, for sure, LG said that it's going to be about the same price as the G6. So at its initial launch, In the US, it was around $700, $800, depending on what carrier you got and if it was unlocked. And LG, although there's no official pricing, instead you could expect around that same
Yeah,
number.
this is not going to be a $1,000 phone. As for availability, there's usually about a month between the time that the phone is launched and the time that it goes on sale. And this is a phone we should expect to see sell in a lot of different stores, right?
Right, everywhere that you kind of saw the G6 being sold and what carriers and what retailers, you could expect the G7 to be sold there too.
All right, so we've talked about the specs, we've talked about the design, which I think is really nice. What does this phone mean for LG?
Well, it is an important phone for the company. Earlier this year, LG announced that it was going to shake up its phone timetable, so it isn't necessarily releasing phones alongside its competitors, and it's not timed at the same way.
So if Samsung goes ahead and releases a phone in 3 months, LG may not follow up and do the same.
Exactly. This phone actually came later in this year than the G6 when it originally launched last year. And that's because LG just took its time with it. And it's tied actually to LG's line of thin-Q AI devices. So it's supposed to work holistically with LG's smart home appliances like its smart TVs and smart fridges.
All right, so this is a pretty strong start for LG's G7 thin-Q. We'll come back to you as soon as we can with a full review. In the meantime, make sure you let us know what you like so far, what you don't like in the comments below.